The voice of Husker Nation is on the air. This is Hail Varsity Radio. Insight, opinion, expertise, along with the biggest names talking Nebraska sports. Join in with the show at 402-489-1240 or 1-800-825-5865. Now, here are your hosts, Chris Schmidt and Elijah Herbel.
Welcome to it, Road Show Friday. We are here at the Ameristar Sports Bar as Amerisports, where we're at for all your fun weekend needs when it comes to the world of sports, gaming, and gambling. Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Will Wilson back in studio. We invite you out. We're here till 6. We are searching for that monster parlay yet again. We want your advice on the stream, Hail Varsity YouTube channel, Hail Varsity Radio Twitter, as it's awesome, man, to be out here at Amerisports Book and Bar, Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. We love being out here for Roadshow Fridays. Nebraska on the road as they are at Indiana tomorrow. We will have thoughts aplenty on that. The NLCS gets rocking here. Dodgers, love you, Blue, against the Mets, almost the most infamous potentially baseball team in history, the 86 Mets. They do have a small place in my heart, but cheering for the Dodgers Yanks World Series. Elijah, how are you? You went and did your best Joe Pesci casino impersonation. Hit me. Yeah. You just made some money at the blackjack table, dude.
Yeah, legitimately 3 minutes ago.
3 minutes ago, Elijah's sprinting back to the table here as we're just outside of Amerisports Book and Bar. And Elijah's like, I just doubled my money.
Well, the thing is, with every hand of blackjack that you play, your implied odds go down. So I look at the money in my wallet and I say, I'm going to put it all on one game. I do just that. I hit on 15. Got a 5, turned up 20, dealer busts, doubled my money, cashed out, back here to do a radio show. And now that's more money we can add to the Hail Varsity Radio parlay of the day.
We were 13 seconds and $500 richer before Purdue. I was talked into going against Bama.
I don't know who suggested that.
Going against Bama cost us $500. We were going to split it down the middle. We were going to chip off some money to the Snitley boys because they helped kind of shape it, some of our picks going into that weekend with Nebraska-Purdue. The last time we were out here, the Friday before Nebraska-Purdue. But we invite you out here to Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. The line is already forming for the buffet. The buffet is all-you-can-eat crab legs. They have steak. They have Saturday night buffet that is prime rib and shrimp. And if you're here all day tomorrow doing the old college football give her hell in the sports book, you can probably stay over and then just get to the Sunday brunch buffet.
Yeah,
all sorts of breakfast items you love. So just throwing that out.
I'll add, while you're here, play responsibly.
Sure.
Schmidt and I will.
Pick winners.
But also help us pick some winners. We already have a text in from our good friend Brady. He has his play of the day for us. He also likes Purdue plus 30. Schmidt, we've been talking about this.
Purdue to cover that 30 number as Oregon comes to town. A classic letdown spot for the Ducks. It's a morgue at West Lafayette. They spent all of their energy and effort last weekend in Champaign with that shootout against Illinois where they lost 50-49.
But that's still got to be confidence building. That's my thing.
Or they're just totally out of gas.
I don't know. Whatever you guys think at home, hop in the Hail Varsity Radio YouTube page, the live chat. Give us your play of the day. We took one from, I think it was from our good friend Jeff Snitley last time. Mm-hmm. He told us to take the overs in Indiana, Maryland. We took that. It hit. It was my stupid pick on Georgia that ruined us. So I have a lot of trust in the Hail Varsity Radio live chat. Give us your play. Send Schmidt an email. Give us a phone call. Whatever you want to do. Give us your play of the day.
1240 to get in. 800-825-5865.
I also want to note we've ran into plenty of friends of the show out here.
Sal's here.
Sal's here.
Money line on Nebraska.
We have the older brother of Sexy Grinch out here. He is shaking hands, kissing babies. It was good to see him. So a lot of friends out here. If you're out here or on the way to the Ameristar Sportsbook, come say hi. Shake our hand. Schmitty will give you an autograph.
I don't do autographs. That sounds uppity. No, the story about autographs goes back to a pregame show about 12 years ago. And my sister-in-law, to mess with her dad, Papa Al, came over in front of a bunch of people, and she was wearing a sports bra. So my sister-in-law asked me to sign.
I don't know where this is going.
In a region around her sports bra, and the place went nuts. Like, dude, well done. Yeah, Aunt Ashley did that to mess with Papa Al. But yeah, so I have signed it. It wasn't quite the Happy Gilmore 75-year-old lady that came up and asked me to sign. No, it was, a mid-20s female.
And that's why you don't do autographs now, because it's all downhill from there.
Pretty much. Will, you got a twinkle in your eye. Wilson.
I'm just noticing a few things. Number one, the way Elijah keeps talking about how his day's going to go, it's a good thing you're next to the ATM. You set up right next to the ATM.
Both of them.
Yeah, both of them. Good thinking about that, guys. Yeah,
we're right up the middle here with the field goal attempt. We'll get to our starting 5 shout-outs. Hail Varsity Road Show at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Nebraska Chiefs. We'll get you here. It was 5, I think. We're getting asked for advice here. Chiefs and 49ers. There are kiosks here with your friends at ESPN Bet and Penn Play Sports app, of course, but we'll dive in. Jack chimes in, says the play of the week is Miami -5, Miami -5, Notre Dame -12, A&M -15.5, Purdue +30. I like that. We'll get our starting 5 shout-outs, but you're invited out Nebraska-Indiana on our mind. Brian Christopherson going to join us here from Husker 24/7 Sports. He is somewhere in Indiana here in about 10 minutes. In hour 2, the pride of Fairbury, Bill Doleman, the professor, going to be with us in the stream. We'll say hi to Jacob Padilla. Jacob checks in with us, and we'll talk some high school ball, but also get into Nebraska and Indiana. Time permitting, Claus and the Friday forecast. We'll have the forecast, as we love doing that here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino, just set up outside Ameris Sportsbook and Bar here 4 to 6. Mike is in first in the stream as we're doing our starting 5 shout-outs. Mike says, as Lee Corso says, not so fast, my friend. Loose Lips is in. Uncle Larry checks in. Good to have Uncle Larry here. Justin Old Boot says hello. Justin is here. Tiger Shark Diver checks in. And wants us to know from a running quarterback standpoint, option quarterback turned pocket man, Rourke, the Canadian import for Indiana, 21 carries, 44 yards. You watch Indiana throw that wrinkle in. Just saying. Apparently, Donnie Trump has joined us in the stream, says, I'm here. Mr. Snitley, part of the Boulder Peace Treaty. Jeff Snitley is in. Sexy Grinch says, what's up? Sal, we saw him a little bit earlier as he's going money line on the Big Red. Couple hundy there. That's pretty awesome. Great Red Shark is in. Coach Brandon Kool-Aid is here. The other Dave checks in. Brent is here. Jeff is here. Tuck says, what's up? Jack gave us some picks a little bit ago. Black Hills Brennan, happy Friday. 37 and Dizzy here. Drizzly, rather, as I can't read in the Black Hills. Feels like winter. Mudflap says, go Big Red. And beat the Hoosiers. Anonymous is in with a stat for us. Jumbo Stein went 35-2-3 at Nebraska, 20-18-1 at Indiana. Proof that Indiana should drop football. I don't know that they're going to do that. They've got Mr. Signetti. Drunk Monk is in, 6-1 Friday. Let's go bowling. That'd be all right. KG is here. Walter in Philly, or south of Philly, says stop the run. Amen, Walter. We have DJ checking in from Holdridge. Good to have you in, DJ. Love our friends out in Holdridge. Ronnie says, what's up? And we'll get to more of your comments, some of your emails, and again, your friendly advice on the Hail Varsity Radio parlay today. Mikey Mike is in. says it's going to be a 17-14 type ball game. Let's talk about that for a moment. The overs or the unders here at 50.5 for Nebraska, Indiana. I think if it trends towards the overs, Nebraska's not winning tomorrow.
Well, I'm trying to do some quick math in my head. 6.5 point line with a 50.5 point over under means Vegas is predicting
30 to 23.
32. You're better at math than me.
No, I'm not. That is blasphemy. Black Hills Brennan says Illinois, Michigan under. That might be a rock fight for sure. Snitley wants Arizona State at Cincinnati -5. He likes Cincy. That's the Jeff Sims Bowl. The world is betting against poor Mr. Sims as he gets to start with a busted up rib section with Arizona State's normal quarterback. Game Dog says, give us Bama, Arkansas, Texas on a 3-teamer. Snitley also likes Bama -3. You know what, though? You have Tennessee in their offense. They go from averaging 60 a game their first 3 to 20 their last 3, and somewhere in the middle. Howdy, nerds. Steven says, what's up? Captain checks in, says, go Big Red as well. Let's dive into strength of schedule, Elijah.
This has been on my mind.
And dive into it a little bit here. Nebraska, Indiana, -6.5. Big Red underdog as we're here at Ameristar Sportsbook and Bar in Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino Roadshow Friday. It is something that Vogue's hit on yesterday. And I look at Indiana's road performance, nothing to sneeze at. We look at Nebraska's road performance at Purdue, where it was a sleepy first half and then a explosive second half, 28-10 win. I like Nebraska's schedule. I like Nebraska's wins. I like Nebraska's road so far. I like the fact that Nebraska got Colorado that looks bowl-worthy. I like the fact that Illinois still is pretty formidable. They're in the running for that 4th spot in the Big Ten. And, you know, they really, and old Vers said this on Hurrdat Sports this morning. I was hearing it. And it's called the Nebraska flu. Teams that play Nebraska the week before don't win the week after. I think there's some truth to the physicality about Nebraska, or the Nebraska flu, as it's called. And, you know, both teams have had a week off. So strength of schedule has allowed Indiana to kind of buy into what their coach has been preaching since he got there, because they've went out there. They dropped a bomb at the Rose Bowl and won 42-13. They've distanced themselves, as Matt Rules talked about, from tight games in the second half to double-digit wins. So Indiana's strength of schedule is a little bit shade better than Nebraska's.
And whenever you talk about this, it's like a couple of spots, which at the end of the day is as close to a wash as it can be. That's essentially what the advanced analytics are telling you. Vogue's kind of alluded to it. He's like, it's marginal. It's pretty much even. That's what the advanced analytics will tell you. And that's why I've been trying to balance this, because for some reason, the analytics and myself don't see eye to eye on this. And most Husker fans don't see it the same way. I'd say probably a lot of people in the national media don't see Nebraska's strength of schedule as the same, if not slightly worse than what Indiana's put together.
From a name standpoint, Nebraska's schedule looks much more impressive than Indiana's.
Well, I would say Rutgers is a more difficult team than Indiana's played all year. I'll add Illinois to that list, and I think you could even make an argument for Colorado being more difficult than any team Indiana has had. So you go, why does Indiana have the same strength of schedule? And I have to look at the 2 road tests that Indiana has passed. And Nebraska didn't pass that Purdue test with flying colors. In terms of strength of schedule, the score you win by doesn't really matter, just who are the opponents. You look at the fact that Indiana's played 2 road games, the analytics are going to like that in terms of strength of schedule. And it's also be noted, this isn't a complete story. What we have right now in terms of strength of schedule is not the end of the day. I think we're probably going to get to the end of the year and look back and be like, man, you know what? Whenever Nebraska played Indiana's strength of schedule is probably slightly overvalued. Like, the teams that you've played early in the non-conference schedule have not gotten into the meat of their conference schedule just yet. You don't know how good they actually are. Those teams play wildly different teams sometimes. Some play 1 Power 5 team non-conference. Some will play 3 Power 5 teams non-conference. Like, I don't know. Basically, what I'm saying is I don't think the analytics tell the full story, because I don't think through 6 games we have a full story of the college football season. That being said, I understand that Indiana is probably going to get a bump in the strength of schedule because they played 2 games away from home. Nebraska's only played 1. Whenever you look at Nebraska's remaining strength of schedule, it's top 15 in the country. Why? Because there's good opponents on there, and there's so many games that are away from home. That matters in strength of schedule. So I think in terms of opponent for opponent, neutral field, yes, Nebraska's probably played a more difficult schedule to date, but you've had 5 games at home, and that's going to be easier for a lot of teams, especially considering Nebraska's home field advantage.
It's part of that momentum build-up that gave you some confidence in Nebraska going into year 2. CK Cash 26 says money line and the under look good to me, as he's talking Nebraska and Indiana.
I don't think we should throw that in the parlay of the day.
Ann's going to lay some heat down, as she almost hammered a 3-team parlay.
Oh, she's got stars for us.
She has it stars. So she is going Nebraska, Indiana, the under.
Yep.
And says Virginia at Clemson minus 21.5. Won't cover. So you're going with Virginia.
Virginia plus 21.5. Okay. Somebody else already shouted that in the stream.
And she is going A&M Mississippi State.
Okay,
so
she's
she's going cover.
She's going for the underdogs.
I like it. Well, Nebraska is an underdog this weekend. Ann's going to go make some money.
We'll have to get Will's picks at 440.
Yeah, Will's going to jump in. Will's going to give us part of the forecast as well, as Brian Christopherson will join us, Husker 24/7. He is en route to Bloomington. It's Hail Varsity here at Ameristar Sports Bar and Casino.
Place to go for lunch every day.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday?
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista.
Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? Hi, this is Dr. K with Lincoln Weight Loss, and we know the secret. Our unique, doctor-developed weight loss program makes it easy to lose weight, get healthy, and get your energy back naturally, safely, and effectively. If you'd like to lose unhealthy fat without counting points or calories, no exercising, no prepackaged meals, no HCG, no drugs, and no injections with the risk of serious side effects, go to LincolnWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Hey, it's Schmidt here. Are you looking for the secret to shed some of those stubborn pounds? I was too, and I found it with Lincoln Weight Loss. I was able to drop 30 pounds in just 2 months, and I've kept it off. Lincoln Weight Loss offers you a plan that is a true lifestyle change. Many clients lose 20 to 30 pounds in about a month. That's a half a pound to a pound per day. For your free private weight loss consultation, call 402-520-8170.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
Daddy, we need more balloons.
On it.
Enjoy life's important moments without congestion. Try Sinex Saline from Vicks. Just Sinex. Breathe. Use as directed.
Hello, neighbor. Welcome to Pumpkin Time at Super C Convenience Stores. Yep, it's pumpkin season. Pumpkin treats, pumpkin snacks, pumpkin spice, and pumpkin creamer in your coffee. Maybe even a pumpkin donut or pumpkin muffin. However you celebrate pumpkin season, Super C has your pumpkin fix. And with Super C Rewards, you can get rewarded for every pumpkin purchase you make. On fuel, car washes, hot snacks, and cool treats. Super C, celebrating pumpkin season at all 11 area locations. They're always happy to see you rewarded.
Stop out for $10 Tuesdays at Odd Oil and Propane, where you can refill your 20-pound propane bottle for just $10. A 10-spot, a Sawbuck, a Hamilton, whatever you call it. Bring it to Odd Oil and Propane on Westo and Lincoln and refill your propane bottle.
And now,
back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back here at Hail Varsity Road Show Friday, Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. We're outside here, Ameris Sports Book and Bar. Pete Alonso going yard as the sports book erupts. I have not seen a Darryl Strawberry, Lenny Dykstra, or Keith Hernandez jersey, but someone's throwing a beer and raising a glass. Now, my buddy Teddy, the mayor of O Street, is not happy. He's a Love You Blue Dodger guy. We are hunkered down for all sorts of college football bets. We are in search of that monster parlay, Elijah, to win some money for this weekend.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. Will, did you just make some money on a Pete Alonso home run?
No, I didn't bet it. Thanks.
Oh, Will and I had this conversation yesterday.
Plenty of Bet ESPN kiosks here at Amerisports, and also the nice, kind folks here at the window for you. We say hi to Brian Christopherson, Husker 24/7 Sports. BC is on the road again, cranking up some Willie Nelson en route to Bloomington. Might be in Bloomington already. BC, where are we at?
We're in Illinois right now.
Okay.
So we got a few hours ahead of us. We had a little setback with a blown tire back close to home, but we got a new vehicle and onward.
I am absolutely sorry that happened. Were you driving or were you riding? Who was driving? Who was passenger?
Bruns was driving, so he drove right into it, but he did fix the tire, so you got to give him credit for that.
See, I've been there.
He fixed the tire. He changed the tire. He put the donut on. He didn't patch it up on the spot. That would have been more impressive, honestly.
See, Schmidt and I, we had this conversation on the way up here to Council Bluffs.
You're going to jinx the road home is what we're going to do.
Well, on the way home from East Lansing last year, I'm driving solo because Schmidt's flying home because he's big time, And
Schmidt's just over travel baseball road trips.
Yeah, that's fair. But it's a Sunday evening after the time change, so it's dark out. I pop a tire an hour east of Omaha, and nothing's open on a Sunday night. So I am actually on the side of the road, like, what am I going to do? And I had to finish the ride home on the donut. So I'm glad you guys were able to get it patched up, and I'm glad you guys were able to get it back on the road because I've been there. It's no fun.
No fun, but it's all good. We're going to see a big game, and we've recovered. It was just a bad first quarter for us. We're trying to finish stronger in the second half.
I love it. Let's keep with that blown tire omen / analogy here. And how does Nebraska pop Indiana's tire here? Where do the Big Red Army and Faithful, what do they see tomorrow, BC, with this Nebraska offense here? I think the defense is going to be key, clearly, but the offense has got to show up and help support, right? That complementary football thing.
Oh, yeah. I mean, the offense needs to find a few explosives. We've heard a lot about trying to locate those in the run game, but, sometimes I think you gotta take the top off first in that passing game and find something there, and maybe that opens up some lanes. So I think that's a big deal if early on Nebraska can find a big strike downfield, give Indiana something to think about with that. Maybe that gets things going for Emmett Johnson and Dowdell and those guys. So that's going to be a big part of it. I'd love to see Thomas Fedoni get, involved early in this game, kind of explore the middle of that defense, see if he can get some things done there. And then on the other side of the ball, as good as Curtis Rourke has been, he's a veteran and he's completing about 74% of his passes. Nebraska, I think, has a chance to disguise their defenses and maybe try to confuse him more than he has so far this season. It was John Bullock who mentioned if you watch the Indiana-Northwestern game, Northwestern didn't do a good job of trying to trick them really at all. They kind of stayed with the same thing, and it made it easy on them. So there's going to be a really good cat and mouse game there between a savvy quarterback but also some savvy defenders that are pretty confident. And I think there's hope, at least on Nebraska's side, that they can coax him into a mistake or two.
Defensively, BC, who needs to play like an MVP for Nebraska tomorrow to give that defense a chance to slow down the high-powered Indiana offense? Who do you think is going to have to shoulder that load?
I think the backers got to be great tomorrow. Obviously, Johnny B. But Javen Wright is a really interesting story. I mean, it's just a fascinating sidebar to this game. A guy who's can't have contact in practices yet, and yet you might still play 30 to 35 snaps tomorrow according to rule. So this is a game when Javen's healthy and he feels like he's got to step back where it fits him. You know, he's got the skill set to be out there a lot and be disruptive. So maybe Javen gets kind of his coming out party for this season after having to sit the first 4 games with that blood clot issue. But I would say that whole second level's got to be really on point. The RPO stuff Indiana does, can make it tough sometimes to dissect, is that a run or a pass? So they're going to have to be really alert, have their eyes in the right spots, and sort of be one step ahead of an offense that is right now, I think, they felt way too comfortable against whomever they've played. So some way, somehow, whether it's that D-line just getting a push, kind of getting in his kitchen, you've got to disrupt a veteran quarterback and give him a little discomfort, I think, for the first time this year.
You know, and we have some Carter Nelson questions. Loose Lips wants to know about Carter Nelson not playing and likens that to a felony. Do we see Carter Nelson emerge?
Whoa.
Right? I mean, Carter Nelson's somebody that got a look-see early this season. You've not burnt the shirt yet, but, I mean, I love the Fedoni Nelson 1-2. Potentially along with Ramir against the Indiana linebackers. I love that matchup opportunity tomorrow, BC.
Yeah, I don't think it's anything that Carter's not doing. I think it's just a true freshman who's, you're finding your way in the offense. There's a lot to process. And, it's just a different level than he's played before. But that doesn't mean, especially coming out of the bye with the skill set that he has, that you can't find, even if it's, 3 to 5 plays that you feel really good about with him, where you can sort of showcase him. The thing that's been mentioned about this offense, there's a lot of guys you kind of want to get the ball to. Like I mentioned, Fedoni, someone can mention Nelson, then someone's going to say, well, you got to get Corey Barney the ball 8 to 10 times, and Banks and Nair and all those guys. And what about Jalen Lloyd? Is it time for him to have that explosive that goes 55 yards? So however they get it done, you'll take it. You just got to find those holes or those ways you can, put some big plays together, get yourself in manageable third down situations. But I wouldn't be surprised at all if a young guy like Carter, especially after, a week off and some time to kind of think about what he does well, where he could excel out in the second half of the season, if he could get some things done in this game.
Brian Christopherson's with us, Hail Varsity Radio Roadshow. We're here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino, and can find BC on Twitter at Husker247 BC, and him and Brunsey are en route to Bloomington. So with Nebraska tomorrow, the bowl streak, the ranked streak, both of those things are on the periphery. Nebraska fans are interested in. BC, how big would this win be tomorrow from a, best win standpoint? Nebraska's best win since ...
Oh, yeah. I haven't thought about what it's the best since, so I don't want to give a stupid answer off the cuff. But, I mean, just to get that 6th win, you'd have to put it right up there with anything we've seen, obviously since the Frost era started. And Mike Riley pulled off a game or two that maybe was unexpected that you would think about when you ask that question. But the fact that you could be 6-1 with one big swing tomorrow, you can end a streak that goes back 8 years. You can end another streak that goes back 8 years with the losses to ranked teams. It's at 25 straight games. I like the fact that, within their walls, that's not like a big talking point. They're not sitting around the table at the training table like, oh, we got to do this because of this streak or whatever. You're just focused on handling your business. But there's no question, guys, that this is one of those bad TV graphics, and it's one of those things that gets inserted into every story. Until you take it out, you're always going to have to deal with it. And what better place to do it than here on the road against a team that is not used to having this sort of showcase on their program. They're not used to a big noon type of atmosphere and sort of the pressure that goes with that. And they're the favorites in this game. And so I do think there's a part of it where Nebraska could be a little loose tomorrow. They can go in as the underdog and everybody's been writing their profiles on Kurt Signetti all week in Indiana, and sometimes that goes the other way on a team then after they've had all that pub for a few days. So Nebraska, I think, has been wise. Let's just make it about the football. But there's no question, guys, in the post game, if they win that game tomorrow, you're going to see all these headlines about how they took the bat to that streak and those streaks, and it'll be a big deal to just have them off the table when that happens. And hopefully it's 24 hours away for everybody back in Nebraska.
Brian, if you do just make it about the football, I mean, we're here at the Sportsbook. Indiana is a 6.5-point favorite. What do you see from the football that makes you think this is why Indiana is a 6.5-point favorite? We all talk about the offense. I will also say they haven't played a defense like Nebraska's. Is that why you see the 6.5, or what do you see about this Indiana team that makes you think, okay, that's why they're a 6.5-point favorite?
I think people are just impressed, and Rule kind of got to it this week about how they've finished games. And I mean, if you look at their schedule, they've played really well in the fourth quarter and put teams away. And Nebraska, even in their wins, is sometimes, they've had a good couple quarters, but you felt like 4 quarters have been missing. Where's that complete game? And so I think the odds makers are looking at some of that and who's been more complete, even if Indiana hasn't played the toughest schedule. They've handled their business with a sort of efficiency that you respect, and on both sides of the ball. So I do think that's a part of it. And then I think you got to say there's always those couple points you get for being on your home field. And then there's those couple points. I think some people who are the sharp bettors are looking at the kicking game. And there's no question that that's a worry for Nebraska until it's not. So I think that's a big part of why that line is where it is. That said, you said it in your question. Nebraska's got a better defense than this Indiana team has seen. We said all off season this can be a top 10 defense. They're trending that way. Tomorrow's the kind of game where you try to put an exclamation point to that if you're Tony White's crew, and you show, okay, we are who you thought we were back in July and August. That Illinois game was sort of the outlier.
Brian Christopherson with us, Husker 24/7 Sports BC, about 10 seconds. Over under on sack Dr. James Williams, minus 1.5 sacks tomorrow.
I'll put him at under, but I mean, 1.5 is always a tall order, but I think he gets one. And I do think Nebraska will put a little heat on the quarterback. And I expect this game to go right to the wire. I think it's a 50-50. It's a coin flip to me.
BC, safe travels, bud. Thank you much.
Yeah, thanks for having me, guys.
European getaway is right now. Just log on to kfornow.com. Enter this hour's winning word, and you could be touring Europe in VIP style. Here is this hour's winning word.
Jet. Fly in a jet. Spell it Jet. Jet.
Enter that word right now at kfornow.com, and you could be on your way to Europe from KFOR.
Kamala's inflation is damn near costing me everything. But Dan Osborne is siding with them, not us. Osborne supports amnesty for illegal aliens and wants to give our jobs away to foreign workers. He'll give them our Social Security, too. Dan Osborne, same old Democrat BS, just a different D.C. puppet.
I'm Deb Fisher. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Fisher Victory Fund.
Join Deb Fisher's team. Give today. FisherVictoryFund.com.
Wesley Financial Group is not a law firm.
Hi, I'm Chuck McDowell, the timeshare cancellation guy and founder of Wesley Financial Group. And I want to set the record straight. I am not an attorney. I've never wanted to be an attorney. And the truth is, I really don't even like attorneys. If I sound like an attorney or if I look like an attorney, I'll apologize. But what I've learned in my 15 years in the timeshare cancellation business is you don't need to be an attorney to get folks out of their timeshare. At Wesley, we've helped over 40,000 families cancel their timeshare without me being an attorney. And I want to share with you how we do it. Just give my office a call, and you will not talk to an attorney. And I guarantee if we take you as a client, we'll get you out of your timeshare, or you'll pay nothing.
Call now for your free information kit. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090. 800-714-9090.
Are you a parent of a 2 to 7-year-old? Listen closely for an exciting free radio offer. By now, you've probably heard of ABC Mouse, the award-winning and revolutionary online learning program that's changing the lives of early learners everywhere.
ABC Mouse is like a little one-on-one teacher. It has helped her so much.
Designed by teachers and early childhood learning experts, ABC Mouse seamlessly aligns with what your child is already learning in school. And with over 7,000 learning activities and more than 650 lessons, it's the most comprehensive early learning site on earth.
I have been teaching for 13 years, and I've never seen a program like ABC Mouse. It encompasses science, math, reading, social studies.
It's just endless what they can learn on ABC Mouse. I've always had to use 20 websites, and now I can just use one.
Right now, we're offering a special radio promo to try it.
Hail Varsity Radio is live. Now, back to Schmitty.
Schmitty's a great guy, but he don't have a brain.
And Elijah.
You want me to speak? When I point at you, yeah.
On Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you. It's Roadshow Friday. Hail Varsity here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Sportsbook and Bar is NLCS action going here. Dodgers and Mets. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel.
How about that? The Dodgers got one back.
Will Wilson is here. Thanks to the great folks here at Amerisports for having us out.
Oh, and Shohei's up to bat.
That's right. We'll see if Shohei goes yard work.
He only does it with runners on base, and he's got a runner on second and a 2-0 count.
Be careful here, as we'll get fined and slapped for play-by-play. The old yacker in the dirt, ball 2.
Yes, you continue on with the play-by-play.
I had to do it. I'm sorry. But what's hilarious, Captain chimes in on the stream. We invite you to check us out. Hail Varsity YouTube, like and subscribe. Hail Varsity Radio Twitter, both ways to watch the show. You hear us along the Hail Varsity Radio Network at HVarsity Radio on Twitter. But Captain checks in and says, holy bleep, I looked at Will and was like, what the hell happened to Justice after his 21st birthday? A hell of a night. That's pretty good, Captain. Hope Justice had that ice cream cake. Jared is in.
Well, I do know Justice.
He stream as well. Go ahead.
Justice told me. Now, you never know. But he did tell me that he was getting up early. He's heading back to go see some family in Oklahoma this weekend. And he told me he wasn't doing anything last night because he was going to get some homework knocked out, so he didn't have to worry about it this weekend. So he claimed he wasn't going out. He claimed he wasn't going to have a wild night. But
he had to work at the other gig last night as well. Ace checks in with a great point here. We'll find out if Signetti and his defense have any respect for the Nebraska wideouts and play more man coverage and pressure Dylan. That's an excellent point. They've had 2 weeks to either change what they are or stay with what they are. Real Matthew says player prop for the parlay, Carter touchdown anytime. I'm thinking of Fedoni anytime as maybe part of our parlay.
And quickly here, back to the point about Indiana. What is their defense going to look like tomorrow? That is going to be an early sign for me in how this game goes for Nebraska. Jimmy's and Joe's, X's and O's. That's kind of the two sides of it with Indiana. The X's and O's, the scouting report on Nebraska, you play man coverage against them. The receivers struggle to get separation against man coverage. Dylan Rile's passer rating is separate because of that.
That shouldn't be.
You also add to the fact that whenever teams go man, they tend to bring an extra guy or two and pressure Dylan and dare that offensive line with the running back to go hat on a hat and pick everybody up. Zone coverage is where he's picked him apart. The X's and the O's will tell Indiana tomorrow. I think Signetti, I think he's got a good staff. I think he's a good coach. They know the game plan should be go man coverage against Nebraska. We'll figure out early on in that game, first quarter, do they have the Jimmies and the Joes to go man-to-man against Nebraska's wide receivers? Their defensive backs aren't world beaters. They lack some size. You would think Nebraska physically can do well against them in man coverage, especially whenever you talk about Dylan Riley. He goes go ball down the sideline, jump ball for the receiver. Feels like it's advantage Nebraska. If Indiana early in the football game tomorrow can hang with Nebraska's receivers, make it tough in man coverage, I don't think this game goes in Nebraska's favor. If they have to go to zone or if they come out early in zone, I think that bodes really well for Nebraska. That's one of the early signs I'm looking for tomorrow. It's not the story of the game, but it's one of the early signs I'm looking for in terms of what does this game offensively look like for Nebraska.
You've got a 5'11 corner and a 5'8 corner. If you're Indiana, you've got 2 6'4 dudes. Go do rebounding drills and just box them out. Todd emails in, Chris at hailvarsity.com, says Nebraska loses 38-17. Why am I dressed like an 8th grade social studies teacher? That's a little windy. It's a little cooler, Todd. I am a quarter zip loser. I have too many of them. It's how it works on a Friday road show here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Some things that mean a lot tomorrow for Nebraska. One, this is the next step in your progression. We'll talk with Bill Doleman here in about 20 minutes about this, but Matt Rule's been very upfront about incremental progress, and you saw it a little bit last year. You've seen it this year about how you learn how to win close ball games. You be the toughest team in the fourth quarter. You run the football. You get a big-time quarterback. There's all these mile marker spots with building a program. Well, this is the next progression. You won your Colorado game with the stage on. You lost the Illinois game when the world was patting you on the back. You've won on the road, and you've won a one-score game in the fourth quarter against Rutgers. You let it become a one-score game because you couldn't slam the door on them. It's okay, but it's still part of the discussion. And then you were tied at 0. So this is part of the progression here where you go on the road. And is it too soon to go beat a ranked team on the road if you're Nebraska in year 2? It'd be Nebraska's best win, I think, since the Michigan State shocker back in 2015. Road win, I take go all the way back probably to that Penn State game in 2011.
What about the Mickey Joseph Iowa game?
That's better take.
The thing is
that was Big Ten.
That was big monkey
title game, Iowa.
Yeah,
and they didn't close the deal.
And that was monkey off the back type moment.
It's a better call.
Beating Iowa. The problem is the win didn't matter for Nebraska. There was nothing on the line.
That game mattered a hell of a lot for Iowa.
Mattered a hell up for Iowa, and you were able to go take them down. They had some injuries in the secondary, which didn't help Iowa that day. But that was a big win for Nebraska just to get the monkey off the back. The thing is it didn't have implications for the grand scheme of your seasons like this one does. That was the ultimate game where Nebraska could go into Iowa City and play free, say, F it, Trey Palmer's down there somewhere, and chuck one up for him and hope he comes down with it. Because if Nebraska lost that game, so what? You lost another one to Iowa in a season where you're going to be hiring a new head coach at the end of the year. So what? It was big, though, for monkey off the back to go beat a very good Iowa team and to do it in the way that they did it, despite the fact that the season hadn't gone how you wanted. You fired your coach early in the season. You came together. It wasn't playing for a bowl game, wasn't playing for anything of importance. You're able to get that one. So it's kind of there wasn't implications like this Indiana game in terms of what the rest of your season is.
Play free as an underdog.
That's kind of the angle I'm coming at it with here is that was a big game for Nebraska to go play free and get the monkey off of their back. That being said, a lot of different guys.
It's a sign of progress for Nebraska. Sign of progress for Nebraska to go on the road, get a win against a ranked team, and do that with this stage. You've got the quarterback, you've got weapons, you've recruited well, you've developed well, you have an elite defensive line. Go get it handled. I'm not as worried about the PTSD mental part of things like Nebraska fans may have been, and this team may have been early in the season. I think they've kind of grown that way. But can you go match up, and can your headsets match up? Can your coaching staff be better against a really good staff in Indiana and a really elite head coach in Signetti? I'm just wondering about the offensive side of the football. Can Nebraska stay a step or two ahead of things, Elijah, like the defense was against Rutgers?
And for all we've said here about Jimmys and Joes and X's and O's, what did Barry Switzer say when we talked to him last week?
Football humbles you in about 7 days. 7 days away from being humble.
And it's all mental. That's what he's talking about. And that's the thing to me is I think these teams somewhat evenly matched, both a lot on the line this football game, a lot of implications. Both teams trying to get the monkey off their back with Indiana being a good football team for once, Nebraska ending that streak against ranked teams. Which team mentally is in the better place tomorrow? Big question for me.
Well, Signetti's a big talker, and he's backed it up so far. Does Indiana do that at home with their largest moment in forever? Greg in Michigan says, as a 8th grade teacher, I resemble that remark. We'll wind down hour 1 here, Hail Varsity at Council Bluffs, Ameristar.
Scared Nebraskans will find out she broke her promise on term limits, that she voted to sell out family farms and betrayed the Republican border bill. Scared because since she became a senator, Fisher's net worth has gone up 1,300%. Dan Osborne served our country abroad. Now he's fighting the corruption at home. Don't let fear win. Vote Dan Osborne for U.S. Senate. Retired career politicians PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Trust is a foundation of any strong relationship. It's earned every day.
At 1011, it's the way we cover the community we call home.
Working hard to fact check, verify, and get the story right.
It means alerting you first to severe weather and preparing for what's ahead.
It's telling the stories that bring us together and make us proud to be Nebraskan.
Trust Cole Miller, Madison Pitch, Chief Meteorologist Ken Shumick, and Sports Director Kevin Suits. The most watched, the most trusted. That's 1011.
In business, service is everything. Cintas delivers what you need to better serve your customers. Whether it's freshly laundered work apparel for almost any job imaginable, tested and inspected fire protection systems, first aid and safety supplies, on-site AED training, or mops and restroom products, stocked and ready when you need them. Better work days happen together. So visit Cintas.com.
Oh, I'm ready!
And get ready for the work.
Hello, neighbor from Super C Convenience Stores. Have you downloaded Super C Rewards yet? You are missing out. You just swipe and save every day with the new Super C Rewards app. You could be getting 5 cents off a gallon of gas. You should be getting triple points on Wednesdays and double points on free-for-all Fridays. You'd be getting points on the dollars you spend and redeeming them for free stuff. You need to swipe and save every day with Super C Rewards. You can download now from Google Play and the Apple Store.
Kamala's inflation is damn near costing me everything, but Dan Osborne is siding with them, not us. Osborne supports amnesty for illegal aliens and wants to give our jobs away to foreign workers. He'll give them our Social Security, too. Dan Osborne, same old Democrat BS, just a different D.C. puppet.
I'm Deb Fisher. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Fisher Victory Fund.
Join Deb Fisher's team. Give today. FisherVictoryFund.com.
There's never any FOMO with the iHeartRadio app. You won't ever have to miss out on your favorite shows and contests with this radio station again. Radio 24/7, 365. We're here when you want us. Stay connected and listen anywhere when you download the free iHeartRadio app.
Listen to this station.
And now.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Winding down this first hour, Hail Varsity Roadshow Friday here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino, just outside Amerisports. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Will Wilson back in studio as Eric chimed in on the stream and was asking if Ameristar is the spot connected to the Hampton. It is. So come see us, Sarah. Across the river. We're here a lot of Friday road shows. We love being up here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. 489-1240, 800-825-5865. You can call your shot here. What you think. We are working on that 14 monster parlay to lay down the second leg of the Hail Varsity parlay here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. We've had some amazing suggestions. We've just got to pick the right four.
And I think what we got to do, you get a pick, I get a pick, Will gets a pick, and we let the stream chat get a pick.
Okay, so there's our four. We do need to maybe commandeer Randy. Randy's a listener. Good to see him. Randy has just been beating up a dealer, $2,000 at the blackjack table, apparently. But he was going back in.
Yeah, that's never a good sign. That's never a good sign.
Come in here to Amerisports here and go put some money down on anytime touchdown for Thomas Fedoni.
Well, you can't do that anymore, unfortunately.
No,
they did away with the player props in college.
That hurts.
Well, you can go to some.
Thanks, Hawkeyes.
You can go to your neighborhood bookie and try to bet that, but you can't do it here at the Amerisports.
George who tends bar.
It does make a lot of sense with all the drama we've had with gambling in college sports with some athletes over the past year. It was the right move to make, but yeah.
I keep getting yelled at for calling Larry Bird a Hoosier. He started out at Indiana, didn't like Bob Knight, went to Indiana State.
Became a legend.
Hoosier as the state term, is what I'm saying.
Before we get out of here this segment, Schmidt, something I was talking about with you here as we were walking is a lot of the staff members here at the Ameristar Sportsbook. It's a Friday. They're wearing some old school jerseys.
Oh, yes. We were going to get into this today.
I saw a Jake Delhomme jersey.
Did you?
Awesome poll. There's been a guy also at UNL. There's been a kid in his class every single morning, Tuesdays and Thursdays, has been wearing some obscure jersey into his geography lecture. So we've seen a Steve Largent jersey
for showing up.
Johnny Juzang was a jersey that was pulled this week. Largent. There's Ricky Williams.
So what obscure player jersey would you show up to work or class in?
That's a good question. Like if you could have anyone.
Are you going Decker for Denver?
Eric Decker's not obscure enough, I don't think.
I'm going Steve Balboni, the porn stash of the 80s, and still the all-time record home run holder for Kansas City, the overweight beer league softball first baseman that bombed 37-plus bombs a year for Kansas City back in the 80s. Even more home runs than Bo Jackson. I'm going Steve Balboni.
To me, it's
my late father had a loving nickname for Steve Balboni that I cannot repeat on the air.
See, the thing
it's
is,
not what you think, Will.
Basketball jerseys aren't the right cut for me. If I'm going basketball, I'm going Alex English.
Oh, I love that.
That's a good pull, right? I like Alex English.
Alex English. And those old school 80s Denver LSD jerseys, those were good.
Yeah, the multicolor. Or if I'm going football, I'm between Rod Smith and Steve Atwater.
Oh, I was a big Easy Ed McCaffrey guy, fantasy football love there.
Will, you have a thought?
The only obscure jersey I have is Ricky Rubio with Minnesota. I don't really have a lot of football jerseys.
Yeah, that was a wasted draft pick.
If you could pick one, just delivered to your doorstep, what would it be?
Man. Let me sit on that. We're running out of time.
All right. Bill Doleman's coming up. Hour 2 here from Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino, Amerisports, where we're at. Hail Varsity continues.
Flooring is different today. Getting your questions answered, making the right selection, getting the best value, and installed quickly and professionally. Visit ostreetcarpet.com or shop our store. We'll answer all your questions and help you make the right choice. You'll be enjoying your new floor in just days for less than you'd pay elsewhere. Carpet, vinyl, wood, laminate, tile, and area rugs. We've got it all.
O Street Carpet.
1732 O Street. Family owned and operated. Always the best value.
Hello, Nebraska. It's your all-time favorite president, Donald J. Trump. And Deb Fisher has been a supporter of mine from the beginning, and she's been a friend of mine. She does a very, very good job. She's solid as a rock. She's totally for the farmers. She wants the state of Nebraska taken care of. So it's very important that we get out and support her. We want somebody that's going to be strong, powerful, and great for our country. And it's not going to be Dan Osborne. He's a radical left person, really a Bernie Sanders type Democrat.
President Trump knows Dan Osborne supports the Green New Deal, a socialist takeover of health care, and amnesty for illegal immigrants. But Deb Fisher is on his side.
Vote for Deb Fisher. She has my complete and total endorsement. She will continue to make you proud.
Deb Fisher for Senate.
I'm Deb Fisher, candidate for U.S. Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Deb Fisher for U.S. Senate.
Ooma. What was that? That is business phone bliss with the Ooma cloud phone system. It handles all our voice, video, and messaging needs. You sound very calm. I am. Ooma has everything I need to run my business more efficiently, like virtual receptionist, call routing, and video conferencing. And it starts at just $19.95 per month per user, plus taxes and fees. Ooma. Nice. Find your business comm at ooma.com/radio.
This is your station for local news, talk, sports, and weather. FM 101.5, 1240 AM, KFOR, Lincoln.
From ABC News, I'm Chuck Severson. Both presidential campaigns holding rallies in Michigan, a key battleground state. The issue of news reports saying former President Trump is canceling interviews because he's pooped has come up. Harris in Grand Rapids, Michigan.
Vice President Harris called out former President Donald Trump for his recent schedule of media appearances.
He is ducking debates and canceling interviews.
The vice president seized on a report that said Trump has backed out of recent interviews because he is, quote, exhausted, something he denied forcefully on Friday.
If you are exhausted on the campaign trail, it raises real questions about whether you are fit for the toughest job in the world. Come on.
Karen Travers, ABC News, Washington.
In Michigan, Mr. Trump responding to reporters.
I'm not even tired. I'm really exhilarated. You know why? We're killing her in the polls.
Some optimism on the Gaza war after the Israeli army killed Hamas's top leader Wednesday from President Biden as he left Berlin today. ABC News senior White House correspondent Selena Wang traveling with him.
President Biden is here in Germany meeting with world leaders and also renewing calls to end the war in Gaza. Biden said he'll be sending his Secretary of State to Israel in the coming days, and when asked when he thinks Netanyahu will end this war, Biden said very soon.
The judge overseeing Donald Trump's federal election interference case today unsealed a big trove of evidence gathered by special counsel Jack Schmidt in the case in Washington. Many of the pages are blank, though, the evidence redacted, presumably because it has sensitive info from grand jury members. Much of the rest is all publicly available through the House January 6th committee and elsewhere. Wall Street major indexes finished a sixth straight winning week with record high closes for the Dow and the S&P 500 after some better than expected corporate earnings reports. You're listening to ABC News.
You can live out your MasterChef dreams when you find a professional on Angie to tackle your dream kitchen remodel. Connect with skilled professionals to get all your home projects done well. Inside to outside, repairs to renovations. Get started on the Angie app or visit Angie.com today. You can do this when you Angie that.
Everyone on the road is trying to make it to their destination safely. You can help by staying aware of the large trucks and buses around you. They take longer to stop, have large blind spots, and make wide turns that require caution from other drivers. It takes all of us working together to share the road safely. Learn more at www.sharetheroadsafely.gov. Paid for by FMCSA.
An arrest in a stolen vehicle and narcotics case. Hello, I'm Will Wilson at 77 degrees at KFOR. Before we get to that story, Lincoln police are investigating a collision between a car and a pedestrian just before 9 o'clock this morning at 22nd and Lake Street. According to LPD, the pedestrian suffered injuries that required treatment at a hospital. No other details were available, and the investigation is ongoing. The latest can be found at KFORnow.com. Lincoln police on Wednesday afternoon arrested a 37-year-old man for several drug and stolen vehicle offenses after a traffic stop near 48th and Fremont.
Lincoln was reported stolen out of Crete, Nebraska. It was reported stolen October 6th of this year. Investigators surveilled Jacobson until he stopped at a nearby residence where he was taken into custody.
A search of that stolen vehicle found drug paraphernalia items, a 9mm handgun, and about 41 grams of meth. Jacobson was arrested for possession of meth with intent to deliver, possession of a firearm by a prohibited person, possession of a firearm during a drug violation, and theft by receiving. A burglary sometime between Tuesday night and Wednesday morning from a construction site at Nebraska's Innovation Campus. Lincoln Police Sergeant Chris Vollmer says the padlock to the cargo container was pried from the latch.
Unknown suspect or suspects and removed miscellaneous tools with an estimated value of $14,000.
If you have information on this, call Lincoln Police at 402-441-6000 or Crime Stoppers at 402-475-3600. Thursday's wildfire that burned over 120 acres of land northeast of Waverly serves as another reminder. There's still a fire danger because of the dry, windy conditions.
We're still worried about the fire danger. It's certainly present, but I think people are doing what they can to prevent that.
Lancaster County Sheriff Terry Wagner says one deputy that came to work this morning saw a couple of big tractors with cultivating discs behind them, almost pre-positioned should there be a fire in any fields. Wagner says the good thing is that the harvest season is almost over. High school football tonight as Beatrice plays Lincoln Pius the 10th. Coverage on KFOR begins at 6:50. Partly cloudy tonight with a low near 56. I'm Will Wilson, KFOR News.
Your chance to win the ultimate European getaway is right now. Just log on to kfornow.com. Enter this hour's winning word, and you could be touring Europe in VIP style. Here is this hour's winning word. Love, that's love. Spelled L-O-V-E, love. Enter that word right now at kfornow.com, and you could be on your way to Europe from KFOR.
with the local news, sports, your favorite talk shows, and pro shows on KFOR wherever you roam. Stream us 24/7 at KFORnow.com or on your mobile. You can download the free iHeart or TuneIn app and stream KFOR on the go.
The following is a paid program. He's the pride of Fairbury, an average Joe. Bill Doleman, the professor.
I had a 6 ACT in 1967. One time I got an A and my grandma beat me for cheating.
Now with Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you, it's Hour 2, Hail Varsity Roadshow Friday here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Next time, Bill Doleman, I am going to trank dart you, drag you up. We're going to get the Rain Man suite, and you are going to win me some money. Blackjack table, Pride of Fairbury. How are we feeling?
The amount of money that I've gambled and lost in Las Vegas in the over a year that I probably spent of my life there is exactly the amount in one sleeve of quarters. That's all the gambling I've done. And I spent a lot of time in Vegas, and I've lost a roll of quarters in a slot machine and called it good.
Well, we're taking you to the blackjack table here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Elijah's already punched the dealer in the nose, not literally.
Well, we you don't know that.
we had listener Randy. He's 2G up. And then we'll see how the old Hail Varsity / Average Joe, mother of all parlays 2.0 goes today before we exit stage left. Big one tomorrow, Nebraska-Indiana. I want to get your take on that, Bill. Does tomorrow determine 8 or 9 or 7 or 6? And what I mean is that win total.
Well, I want to give, is it Loose Lips Tuna? I want to give him a bit of a break so he can go do something else for the next 20 minutes because I think Nebraska is going to go 12-0 and win by 30. So there you go. Yeah.
There you go.
Right? So I think Nebraska wins so big tomorrow that the Big Ten gives them the win over Illinois and they go unbeaten the rest of the way and get a bye all the way to Atlanta. So there. All right.
Look at you.
Yeah. Okay. No, it's a big game. It is a big game.
You've been to O Street already, haven't you?
I was over at Jake's throwing down a Guinness and a cigar. You know, that's what I do on Fridays. It's the grading season down here, so I need something to take the edge off, but hasn't kicked in yet.
I love it. I love it. So
I don't have my Colorado vitamins or a cigarette of satisfaction just yet. That might come a little bit later.
It's Bill Doleman with us
real
here.
Left-handed smoke a treat.
Friday edition of Hail Varsity Radio. And Bill, one of the things we were discussing a little bit last hour with this matchup is just the magnitude of this game. When you think back to the last kind of game like this that Nebraska won, it's been a while since they've beaten a ranked opponent. It's been a while since they've beaten a ranked opponent on the road, particularly with the kind of implications that we're seeing in this one, given that it's kind of an elimination game. Whoever loses this game, it's more than likely they're not going to be able to finish top 4, top 5 in the Big Ten. That's the reality of this game tomorrow. It's kind of an elimination game for either of these teams hoping to be in a college football playoff spot. I know that's a long ways down the road. I personally don't believe this Nebraska team's a playoff team this year, but if that's what the team's goal is, this is a game you have to have. If you think on the implications of this game, what does it mean to you, Nebraska-Indiana? It's not the one we had circled in the year began, but it's become quite large as the year's gone on.
So is the significance of the top 4, does that just indicate that everybody thinks that's an automatic playoff spot if you're in the top? I keep hearing that. Who are the top 4 teams in the Big Ten? I thought it just came down to who are the top 2 teams playing for the Big Ten title. But you know what I think people might be having a hard time grasping the importance of this game is because it's Indiana. And that's not to denigrate the great state of Indiana, which is the home of my favorite sporting event of all time, and that's the Indy 500, the home of racing. But it's not a team that Nebraska, and I would assume that even the people in Indiana are not looking at this as, you know, it's that rivalry game that we've been waiting for. You know, back in the old days, okay, you know, people had people looked at the Missouri game mid-year. that was the game that people looked at because you had the non-conference season, you had a tough mid-conference date with the Tigers, and then you had Oklahoma at the end of the year, right? So I think that's when you're looking at this Nebraska-Indiana matchup, it's not on the marquee of either program's radar, I guess you could say. So I think that there's a little bit we're having a little tough time grasping how significant this game. NASCAR, IndyCar,
Indy open wheel.
Oh my God! Get some. If you're gonna talk it, bring it, but don't be inaccurate. So okay. So anyway, I just think that people are having a hard time grasping the significance of the game because it's not a matchup Nebraska thinks of in terms of a rivalry in football.
So, right, you've got the logo, the name, the history, all of that doesn't have the weight. You're right on with that, but you've got the number next to your name. You're unbeaten. You're a darling. That whole handling the success part of things, that's a test tomorrow for Indiana. But from a Nebraska standpoint, Coach Rules talked a lot about incremental progress. To me, you got to go play well, right? And if you get beat because they just made a play or two more, so be it. And that's my concern tomorrow is I haven't seen Nebraska play well on offense for a full football game. That's where I need to see this team after the bye week take its turn. The defense is going to try and kick butt and take names. Special teams can't be a tire fire. Don't know. But the offense, give me 2 of the 3 phases. You can get out of Dodge with a win. What do you think and how do you feel about the offense tomorrow?
Well, that they'd better have spent the last 13 days wisely. I don't think we have an idea of what Nebraska's offense really is. I think we believe that Dylan Raiola is who will be a really great quarterback next year. He's still a true freshman, and Illinois made him look like that a couple of times, and so did Rutgers. But he's really good, and he is Nebraska's best quarterback. He's got to have some help making him look good right now. And I said this on the Average Joe Sports Show, that you got to put some of this on the wide receivers, not just running routes, but running routes with purpose and getting a window to find him open. He's been sacked 12 times this year. I don't think all of those are on him because he's made bad decisions. I don't think he's necessarily had people to throw the ball to. Is Nebraska's offensive line great? No, probably not. But for the most part, he's got to have people to throw the ball to. And I said on Average Joe, if Isaiah Nair and Jamal Banks want to make money next year, they got to start making money this weekend. And they've got to play like big-time receivers, veteran receivers. Nair's come from Wyoming to Texas. Banks comes from 4 successful years at Wake Forest. They're not coming from Montana like Samori Toure did. They've played at some high-level football games. They look good in the first part of the season. I think those 2 guys need to help Dylan Raiola elevate his game. It can't be all on Raiola making them look good because he has to feel like he's precise. Coming into the season, I thought one of the benefits that Raiola was going to have was veteran receivers. And I'm not sure that they have elevated their game to help him out last few ball games. So I think Nair and Banks are critical. Fedoni, I'd love to see them work him down the field a little bit more. But as far as Nebraska's offense goes, I think tomorrow we're going to find out how well they coached him up over the past 2 weeks.
Yeah, balance is going to be huge tomorrow, Bill, with this offense. You got to have Raiola in the passing game because you need some explosiveness against a high-powered attack such as Indiana. But you got to have that running game too. And yeah, this is football. You're always in search of a balanced offense. That's going to be critical at almost any game you play. You got to find balance offensively. This one feels extra important because you need the explosiveness combined with the ball control. Whenever you talk about the balance offensively, do you have more concerns about Nebraska's pass catchers or Nebraska's running backs? Which side of that coin are you on in terms of Nebraska's balance? Which is going to hamper Nebraska tomorrow?
Well, in terms of balancing things out, I don't think Nebraska should have to rely on Raiola offensively. They've got to have some semblance of a ground game. They can't be predictable in the ground game. They can't be predictable in the personnel that they put to go execute whatever it is they want to do in the ground game. I think if you're going to do a wrinkle in the ground game, I think it's going old school and put a fullback in the backfield, Lindenmeyer or Liebentritt, to be a lead blocker for Dante Dowdell, who we know is pretty effective running either between the tackles or between the guards. And when he goes into a hole, he's just going to get hit, and he's getting 4 or 5 yards. Get a lead a blocker in there like a fullback to go, put a little more crease in that defensive line, and then go hit the linebacker so they can't plug the hole. And maybe those 4 and 5s turn into 6 and 7 and 8. And if you do that on maybe first down and you got short yardage on second down, now your passing game has helped. I just think that there needs to be something more to help Dowdell and anybody that's going to pound out some extra yardage in the ground game. Nebraska, I've harped on this all year. Nebraska has not gotten consistent yard gains in the rushing attack. It's for the most part, it's 4 to 6, 3 to 5, and that's it.
It's Bill Doleman with us, Pride of Fairbury, and the professor at Bill Doleman on Twitter. Hear him on the Average Joe Sports Show podcast. And Bill, there's some murmurs of all whites tomorrow for Nebraska on the road.
Cannot explicitly confirm.
Can't confirm. There's also murmurs of a Mazuka sighting beyond the jumbo package.
I'll make a deal with you. You go all whites and give Mazuka 40, 50 snaps.
Okay, you're willing to bite the bullet on the all white ban for more Mazuka.
Yeah, give you all white unis. All right. And again, alternate uniforms on the road, except no pass, right? No alternate jerseys at home. We're not home. So, but look, anybody who watched Nebraska football after Nebraska, one of the great wins of all time, beating Colorado at home on Halloween night, 52-7. We go to Ames, Iowa the next weekend in all whites and watch Marv Seiler just run roughshod through Nebraska's slow motion, all white black shirts. It's haunting, the all whites.
Well, what I'll say, Bill,
right?
if you don't want the all whites, is I did hear this rumor. I think it was last Friday was whenever I first heard the all whites rumor. Seems like an early time for the equipment staff to need to start preparing for that information to start coming out. So that's one thing, is it's an early time for that rumor to start. But if it is true, I'm of the younger generation. I kind of like the all whites because I don't think it should matter what jerseys you're wearing in terms of the result of the football game. I don't believe in curses like that.
You haven't watched
go back and watch. You like to watch games over and over and over, Elijah. Go back and watch November 1992, Nebraska at Iowa State, and you will have nightmares for the rest of your life.
We'll bring old Jimmy Walden on and let him tell you about that nightmare.
I'm with
a guy named Marv Seiler ran through Nebraska's defense that day into the typical north wind coming. We lost. Nebraska lost. Okay, go ahead. Where
Bill,
white? Reds on top, whites on the bottom at home.
What's your TFL number for Nebraska tomorrow? That is something Indiana's not had to deal a lot with, and that's being off schedule. It's imperative that Tony White and crew do their thing. Sacks, TFLs. What's a good number for the Nebraska tomorrow? And about 90 seconds, what obscure sports jersey would Bill Doleman show up the class in on Monday if he could? What player?
Okay, well, the tackles for losses, they've only given up 6 sacks all season. Faced Nebraska's defense. I think Nebraska matches that number tomorrow. I think James Williams has another day. I think Ty Robinson has another day. And I think that there's some pressure on the quarterback or TFLs. Now, some people would say that it's obscure that I would wear a Davy Lopes jersey to class, but I don't think so, because if you're going to wear the jersey of the greatest second baseman to ever play the game, not named Jackie Robinson, why would it be unusual for me to wear a Davy Lopes jersey?
It's fine.
Rhode Island,
kind of a
longtime Dodger second baseman who was traded away for Lance Hudson to the Oakland A's back in 1982. But I'm still not bitter. I'm not bitter about that now. That would be one. But if you want to go obscure, former receiver Randy Vataha. There you go.
Oh, I like it. I love it. Randy Vataha. Bill, we will rope you in tomorrow at some point, my friend. Thanks for spending a few minutes with us.
Burgers for me tomorrow?
One more time. I can do burgers. I can put a steak on the grill for you tomorrow.
Oh, well, okay. We'll see.
I still have some Guinness for you.
There.
All right. We'll see Bill Doleman tomorrow. Appreciate it. We're going to get a quarter for Bill's machine. We're here at Ameristar, Council Bluffs Casino, Ameris Sportsbook and Bar. It's where we're at. We're going to have the mother of all parlays here for the Hail Varsity Friday parlay, and excited for it. Bill, love you, brother. Appreciate you jumping on. There he is. Oh, we needed to get a prediction. Bill, sign a prediction.
85-70. They take a page out of Fred Hoiberg's playbook and win in Bloomington 85-70.
If your watch has stopped running and you think the battery is dead, where do you take it? The mall? The drugstore? The big discount store? I'm Dave Wolf. If your watch needs a battery, bring it to the Time Shop. You can park right at the door and we'll change your watch battery while you wait. It's quick and easy. On your way in just a minute or two. If other repairs are needed, we'll give you a free estimate of repair on the spot. We've been repairing watches in Lincoln since 1970. The Time Shop, next to McDonald's, 6450 O Street, Lincoln.
There's nobody like us in the United States Senate. Now, I'm running as an independent because I'm frustrated with Congress people all being millionaires and billionaires.
Dan Osborne is a pipe fitter from Nebraska who served in the U.S. Navy and then in the Nebraska National Guard.
So people are frustrated right now, and people are hurting, and I'm one of them. Elected officials are bought and sold by special interests and corporations, and that's what needs to change.
Retired career politician's PAC is responsible for the content of this advertising, not authorized by any candidate or candidates committee.
Where's the perfect place to go for lunch every day? Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Where can you watch all of your favorite college and professional sports all season long? Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Who's got family-friendly entertainment all throughout the week, including trivia, music bingo, and live music every Friday? Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill. Hurrdat Sports Bar in La Vista is the spot for lunch, date night, corporate events, or even a late-night cocktail. A one-of-a-kind spot for sports fans and more. Behind Cabela's in La Vista. Hurrdat Sports Bar and Grill.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in full swing, and LifeLock is here to spotlight the threat of phishing. Those sneaky scams designed to trick you into revealing your personal information. While staying alert is important, true protection goes beyond just awareness. That's where LifeLock steps in with comprehensive protection. LifeLock doesn't just warn you about suspicious activity. LifeLock monitors your personal info and resolves identity theft issues if they arise. Take control of your security. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Kamala's inflation is damn near costing me everything, but Dan Osborne is siding with them, not us. Osborne supports amnesty for illegal aliens and wants to give our jobs away to foreign workers. He'll give them our Social Security, too. Dan Osborne, same old Democrat BS, just a different D.C. puppet.
I'm Deb Fisher. I'm running for Senate, and I approve this message.
Paid for by Fisher Victory Fund. Join Deb Fisher's team. Give today. FisherVictoryFund.com.
The days are getting shorter and the temps are getting cooler. This is Chris Goforth. Join me and the experts from Earl May Saturday morning at 8:30.
And now,
back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back into it, Roadshow Friday, Hail Varsity here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. We're at Ameris Sportsbook and Bar. Jacob Padilla with us, talk all things football, some hoops, little volleyball. Jacob, big weekend, man. How we doing?
Doing well. Ready. Obviously, the football team's back from a week off, so that's one more thing to pay attention to this week, but we're ready for it.
I want to get into Big Red football with you as you assess tomorrow. I love this matchup, or I should say I love the opportunity for Nebraska. I think Signetti's a dude. I think he's a heck of a coach. I respect the guy for leaving tons of money working for Saban to go start out at a low-level program as a head coach. And look where he's at in his early 60s. I mean, I think Indiana's good. He knows talent. How dangerous is tomorrow for Nebraska?
Well, yeah, I think it's just a test of their attention to detail and being locked in, because I think one thing we've learned about, and we don't know how good Indiana really is because of the schedule, but one thing we have learned is they are going to embarrass you if you don't prevent them from doing so. 40 plus in almost every game except the opener, and I'd say 77 against Western Illinois, which a little different, but still 77 points is 77 points. So yeah, Nebraska's going to have to show that they're locked in here. Coming out of the bye, they can't have any slip up. They got to finish tackle. They can't have anybody falling down, covering deep balls and things like that. So this will be a good test for Nebraska's defense. Again, coming out of the bye, hopefully they have some guys feel a little better, getting a little healthy, and they'll have close to their full contingent ready to go on Saturday.
Jacob Padilla is with us. Hail Varsity, Hurrdat Sports at Jacob Padilla _ where you can follow him. So Nebraska's offense is my question. I think the defense, strength of the football team. Jacob, what do you chalk up Nebraska's running inconsistencies to? Is it style of offense? Is it running back room? Is it offensive line? I'm not saying they can't run it, but they've not been able to run it when they've wanted to run it or had to run it. It's a better way to put it.
Yeah, and that was my question coming into the year. And I think it's a combination of all the factors. Like I don't necessarily know that it's that they don't want to run it and blame it all on the style offense and the play calling and all that, because you call what you think is going to work. And if you don't have confidence that you can dictate, whether it's with the blocking, with the decisions the running back make, with the ball in their hands, you're not just going to run it over and over again and get yourself stuck behind the sticks. So I think the offensive line is solid. I don't know that they're in a place where across the board you can go dictate in terms of play. We haven't necessarily seen that yet this season. And I think that's part of the reason for their kind of inconsistency offensively. I don't know that they've got game-breaking running backs that make all the right reads, that hit the hole every single time, and get more than is there. We've seen that they've got some fine backs that can make some plays. Like, it looks good at times. All those guys have shown they're capable of making some nice plays, but you don't have necessarily a guy that you feel great about on every single carry. So I think it's the combination of the different factors that maybe are getting in the way of the run game truly popping off. And then obviously the lack of a quarterback run game. That's always something that keeps defenses honest, and just not going to be there. You would hope the improved downfield passing game would loosen some of that up, and I think it probably has at times. But it's just a completely different stress on defense than what we've seen from this program over the last several years, really, where they've had a threat at quarterback to run the ball.
Jacob, you have that option. Do you see some of it tomorrow with Harburg?
I don't think so. That's something that I think they're going to probably continue to talk about, maybe show a little bit just to give defenses one extra thing to worry about and prepare for. But ultimately, Dylan Raiola is kind of your present and your future. And we've seen while Harburg did obviously produce some good running results last year, there was also a high risk of turnovers in that situation. And I don't know that the juice is worth the squeeze of trying to make that a more featured part of the offense at the expense of taking Raiola off the field or using him as a decoy or whatever outside of a few brief plays here and there. I think you want to get that guy as many reps as you can to continue get better, continue experience different situations. And I think as he continues to get more comfortable, then you could potentially start to see him popping off a little bit more, making a few more plays down the field, as opposed to maybe passing on some opportunities in the name of protecting the football. Because I think that's been a big focus for him coming in as a freshman here and trying to learn the ropes. So I think I think their offense is going to be better as Raiola kind of really continues to grow into it. The receivers continue to build that chemistry with him. And I think that's probably the best way forward, but it'll be something we continue to hear about because we've seen that and the coaches keep talking about it.
Jacob Padilla is with us. Jacob, what would a win mean? What kind of statement would that make?
It would be probably the best win for a while and would give the fan bases. I think that would be the first real sign of, oh wow, this is going the right direction. Obviously, I think the way it looks as well will impact how it's viewed as we like kind of the Colorado game and some of these other games where, yeah, you got the win you wanted, but it didn't necessarily feel great coming out of it just because of the way it finished. If they can put together a complete game to where you don't either fall behind or look bad for a half and then find a way to put it together or get up to a lead and then kind of hold on at the end. Like if you just come out of this with a solid 14-point win or whatever, 7-point win, looking good, that I think that completely changes the conversation about the ceiling of this team and kind of the level that they're reaching. At this point, they've taken care of business. They've done what they've supposed to for the most part. And now this is the next step up. Like we've seen them, okay, Rutgers, that it's a team that obviously not a ranked team or whatever. And we've seen them struggle since that game, but it was a team that did some things that have given Nebraska problems in the past. And they showed that, all right, we took a step forward. We've avoided the kind of the letdown game against a team that they shouldn't lose to. Now this is a step up where, all right, this is a good team. We actually got to go out and beat this. It isn't one where, they're 6.5 point favorite or whatever, or something like that. At one point, I don't know what the line's at now, but
right there,
Indiana's a significant favorite here. So this will be the first kind of upset ranked win for Nebraska in a while. So I think if they can get this one done and look good doing it, then we start to talk about this team a little differently than we have to this point.
No, it is a conversation changer for sure. Jacob Padilla is with us, Hail Varsity, Hurrdat Sports. Jacob, let's talk volleyball, the Michigan tour this weekend for Coach Cook and company.
Yeah, and this is kind of progression of the season, the next kind of little different test for them and how they handle things where last week back to first Big Ten back-to-back, but that was at home. Now they go on the road and have to play the back-to-back with a quick turnaround where 2:30 start time, I guess they'll be out in Columbus. So they go from East Lansing to Columbus and play an afternoon game after a night game. So that'll be a kind of a new test for them and how they handle it, quick turnaround, recovery on the road, all those sorts of things. Neither Michigan State nor Ohio State is a great team this season, to kind of put it mildly, although Ohio State has Emily Londot, who's leading the Big Ten in kills. And we saw the defense struggle a little bit to slow down Purdue's two prolific outside hitters. So Londot presents a different kind of test there at the pin. So this is just kind of another chance for Nebraska to show that they can handle adverse situations and come out and play their game.
Jacob, couple minutes here before we get you out. Thanks for your time. High school football, what's kind of on your radar? I know you're locked into volleyball tonight, but some good matchups, man, before we get into postseason.
Yeah, some top 10 matchups in A and B. Omaha North and Bellevue West is a big one tonight. I know Mike Sauter will be there for his big game, or his game of the week. Millard North Central's kind of put some things together and has made a push recently. Millard North's coming off a triple overtime loss to Kearney. That was a tough one. Maybe lost a key player last week to an injury, so that really hurts. So now we'll see kind of how do they respond to that. And then in Class B, our big game chain team will be at Scott and Bennington. Obviously, that lost a little bit of luster with Scott losing to Elkhorn North last week, but still a really talented team and by far the best team Bennington will have seen this season. So they're putting their 40-some game winning streak to the test coming into this one. And so that'll be a fun one. Fans down in your area, kind of the Lincoln area, you got North and Waverly, 2 top 10 teams with some impressive offensive numbers this season. They're going head to head. So good week for top 10 matchups, and there'll be some good games if fans in either Omaha or Lincoln want to get out and watch some games tonight.
Jacob, about 30 seconds. We started this conversation to start the show. Obscure jersey you would purchase and wear?
Oh, that's tough. I have not bought a jersey in a very long time. I don't really own any.
Me neither.
I've got a Donald Driver jersey from when I visited Lambeau. That's probably, and then I got a Amon Green jersey from when I was a kid, gifted. Those are, I think, about the only jerseys hanging in my my closet right now. So I don't know that I'd buy one. But yeah, jerseys aren't really my thing at this point. No
obscure John Kuhn jersey hanging in the rafters.
Nah, I enjoyed a good John Kuhn, Tom Crabtree. Those guys were fun, just kind of obscure, like Colt Hero Packers. But not. I'll cheer for them. Probably won't go get the jersey though.
Jacob, have a good weekend, bud.
All right, thanks for it.
Your chance to win the ultimate European getaway is right now. Just log on to kfornow.com. Enter this hour's winning word, and you could be touring Europe in VIP style. Here is this hour's winning word. Love, that's love. Spelled L-O-V-E. Love. Enter that word right now at kfornow.com, and you could be on your way to Europe from KFOR.
Before Jocelyn Reyna earned a full-ride scholarship to UNL and became a young professional, she was a public school student in Grand Island.
I wouldn't be where I am today without my public school teachers. My family and I moved from Mexico when I was in the 4th grade. I worked hard in school, and my teachers encouraged me to be a better version of myself. I'm proud of my public school experience. It changed my life.
Tell us why you're public school proud at publicschoolproudnebraska.org.
Football season is back, and no matter which home team you root for, there's one thing everyone in the Midwest can agree on. If you're tailgating or grilling at home, nothing beats a freshly baked Village Hearth bun. An old-fashioned hot dog bun is the perfect accompaniment for a brat or a hot dog and all the toppings your little heart desires. And for the best burgers, you just can't beat the Village Hearth Classic Bun. So head to the store and pick up some Village Hearth buns. The weekend is almost here.
Hello, neighbor from Super C Convenience Stores. Here to remind you about Super C Rewards. I swipe and save every day with Super C Rewards. Rack up rewards on every purchase and redeem for free stuff like coffee, fountain drinks, cookies and donuts, energy drinks. And Thursdays, I get double points on 16-ounce Monsters. Tuesdays, I get 20 bonus points with the purchase of 12 packs of pop and beer. I keep track of my Reward Club purchases. Come on, neighbor. Download Super C Rewards, available in the Apple or Google stores.
Cybersecurity Awareness Month is in full swing, and LifeLock is here to spotlight the threat of phishing, those sneaky scams designed to trick you into revealing your personal information. While staying alert is important, true protection goes beyond just awareness. That's where LifeLock steps in with comprehensive protection. LifeLock doesn't just warn you about suspicious activity. LifeLock monitors your personal info and resolves identity theft issues if they arise. Take control of your security. Start your 30-day free trial at LifeLock.com. Use promo code NEWS. Terms apply.
Hey, can you blow up some balloons for Jack's party?
I can't. I'm so congested.
You need Sinex Saline from Vicks.
Sinex Saline Nasal Spray.
Yeah, just Sinex. Breathe.
Sinex Saline instantly clears everyday congestion associated with colds and year-round allergies with a gentle, ultra-fine mist that's no mess and easy to control.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
Back with you at Hail Varsity. We're here at Ameristar, Council Bluffs Casino. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Will Wilson, Amerisports. We're just outside. Brennan from the Black Hills. We're asking the obscure jersey you'd wear to class or work. As Black Hills Brennan says, for 2 weeks straight without changing. Josh McCowan, the old UCLA quarterback, well played. First-round pick. UCLA was white hot back in 1998, and then they met Miami and Edgerrin James. Well done. Well played. I'm still sticking with Steve Balboni.
It's not obscure. Tebow, great one.
Balboni went from Kansas City to New York. He probably had to pay extra to have company in New York.
What would Claus wear?
I don't know. We'll bring him in. We welcome in. He's imaginary. He wears red. It's time for the Friday forecast with Clausborne here on Hail Varsity. Claus, good to spend some time with you, bud. Thanks for joining us. What obscure player jersey would you show up to work or your imaginary kingdom in?
Well, I'm currently looking at a Byron Leftwich jersey that has been left here for some reason.
Wow. I love that. Byron Leftwich jersey. Are we going Jayville? Are we going Marshall?
You got to go with the teal, baby, if you want to party.
The teal to party. Claus, we are still searching for that monster parlay win. We were so close. Ahead of Purdue, it's Nebraska, it's Indiana week. Let us get into the forecast, and we'll start off. Michigan's at Illinois. Michigan minus 3.5. So Michigan's had you beat USC in a comeback. You lost to Washington by 10 on the road. It's dog eat dog with this Big Ten world. And the Illini played their butt off against Penn State. I'm going to say the Illini 31-17, win, cover. The Pig Farmer's a happy guy tomorrow night. What do you say, Elijah?
A lot of field goals in this football game. I am going to take Illinois 20, Michigan 16, an outright underdog win for the Illini.
All right. I like the Illini and the points at home for sure. What do you say, Will?
Yeah, give me Illinois. I'll take them 21-18.
All right, Claus, you going Michigan minus 3.5 or Illinois?
Well, earlier this week, former wrestler turned actor Dave Bautista described our esteemed leader's stomach as a garbage bag full of buttermilk. And speaking of Brett Bielema, I think he's got a fine little team there, and I agree with you guys. Illinois wins this one 24 and Michigan 17.
It's a Friday forecast. We're here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino, Roadshow Friday. On to Bama, Tennessee. This is an elimination game for the Vols. Too much man coverage. Stop me if you've heard that before this week. The problem is Bama's doing the man coverage, and Nico can't figure it out for Tennessee. I like Bama 24-17 tough road win for Bama. They win, they cover. Elijah.
I think the chatter about Kalen DeBoer gets loud this week. Give me the Vols winning this one outright 31-28.
Okay. All right. 31-28. Outright money line, says Elijah. Will Wilson.
I love the over in this game, and I'm going to take 38-34 Tennessee.
All right, Rocky Top. Two of you two saying Rocky Top, Tennessee. Claus, help me out. These two fan bases hate each other.
Well, they certainly do, but right now, even the Bama fans are kind of down on Bama between Kalen DeBoer's T-shirts, the loss to Vanderbilt, and their struggle to keep it up with the Cox. They think that Bama is falling faster than a pop star in Buenos Aires, so they really need a win to strengthen their fan base.
They're never going to invite us back
They
here.
really need a galvanizing win, and Tennessee really didn't impress me last week, so I'll agree with you, Christopher. It's Bama 28 and Tennessee 24.
Hell of a double whammy right there.
That was so good. Pop star falling where?
Buenos Aires.
Oh, my Lord.
Yeah, I put the headset back on just in time for that one because the Gamecocks won that.
The LSU. Moving on. LSU is at Arkansas. Man, Arkansas is one of those teams this year that could end up 9-3, and you're like, all right, you saved old Sam's job. LSU, what a win in overtime against the Fighting Visor and Lane Kiffin. I like Arkansas at home. I like getting points in Arkansas at home. Give me the Hogs, 28-24 over LSU. What do you say, Elijah?
I've been down on LSU. I think that is a confidence-building, a momentum-building win against Ole Miss. I don't think it's a letdown spot. I think LSU wins this football game outright 27-21.
All right. What do you say, Will?
I'll go LSU 34-28.
Okay. Claus, what happens here, LSU or Arkansas? The boot battle.
Well, when I think of Arkansas, I think of really only a couple of things. One, Dana Altman really awkwardly trying to call the Hogs before he realized he needed to get out of there. And, of course, their former governor, Bill Clinton, who was spotted in a McDonald's this week, reminding those that were serving him a Big Mac that there are going to be a lot of things we don't tell Mrs. Clinton. I'm really not sure where I'm going with this, other than to say I don't think much of Arkansas. Give me LSU 31 and Arkansas 17.
All right, the game of the night is Texas and Georgia. Lines jumped from 3.5 to 5. I like Texas. The only time you'll hear me say that is during the Friday forecast. Sark has done an amazing job with the lines of scrimmage. They are good. They're going to have guys drafted, actually, on both lines of scrimmage. And I like Texas to win, Texas to cover. Georgia's good. Georgia's playoff worthy. But just too much Bevo tomorrow night. Give me Texas 28, Georgia 21.
Through the first 7 weeks of the season, this college football season has showed us that it's different now. The 12-team playoff era, it's the parity era, super conferences. It's different. I think we get a slap in the face of a reminder tomorrow. The team that is right now the best in the country goes down. The Dogs get a victory in a high-scoring game. Take the overs, 35-31, Georgia on top.
I'm probably too low on the score. Will, what do you say?
28-24 Texas.
Okay, and a cover, though, by them Dogs. Claus, what say you, Georgia or Texas?
Well, this is obviously the biggest game of the week, and a lot of eyes are going to be focused on this one, but I'm really kind of worried, as odd as it sounds, that Georgia might be overlooking number 1 Texas. Yes, they're going to Austin to play them in football, but then the next day on Sunday, they'll be trying to defeat Max Verstappen and Lando Norris in a Formula One race, and they've been practicing pretty hard for that. So I like Texas in this one, 38, and Georgia 24.
No one else got the Formula One reference, but I did, Claus.
Claus, hang tight. We've got Nebraska-Indiana. That pick coming up. Can you hang on? Claus?
I'll take that as a yes.
We hope. We'll wind down a Friday show here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino.
and more.
You've got your very own handyman to help remodel your home.
The first 2 times we were there, we just kind of looked through the showroom at different items. We're getting onyx. There's a multitude of colors that you can pick from. That was what helped me because I am a very visual person. The third time that we came back, it's like, okay, these are the 2 colors I'm going with. They had it on the showroom floor. Totally loved them. They have little swatches. They're like little blocks, maybe 4 by 2. For us, it was good trying to pick a vanity to go with it. We didn't know for sure what we wanted. Coloring, so that gave you that little piece. For us, it was being able to go in, walk around a little bit, ask more questions. It saved us time. We weren't going 3 or 4 different places. You had one stop. They had everything we needed to finish our bathroom.
Handyman Home Remodeling Center. For the very best in bathrooms, come to Handyman under the arch on Sun Valley Boulevard, Lincoln.
Handyman.
Before Jocelyn Reyna earned a full-ride scholarship to UNL and became a young professional, she was a public school student in Grand Island.
I wouldn't be where I am today without my public school teachers. My family and I moved from Mexico when I was in the 4th grade. I worked hard in school, and my teachers encouraged me to be a better version of myself. I'm proud of my public school experience. It changed my life.
Tell us why you're public school proud at publicschoolproudnebraska.org.
The 20th Annual Sesostris Shrine Sportsman's Raffle, featuring 100 guns and lots of other prizes, is Saturday, October 19th. There'll be booths, barbecue, lunch, and fun. The Sesostris Shrine is located on Saltillo Road near Rod's Power Sports. Doors open at 9 a.m. Winners can exchange guns for anything of equal value at Shield Sporting Goods. Payments are not tax deductible as charitable contributions. Proceeds benefit Sesostris Shriner activities. Tickets available at sesostrishrine.org or Shield's customer service. Must be 18.
Hi, David Brooks here, inviting you to join me this Saturday morning at 11 a.m. for the Retire Smart Radio Show, where we'll provide you answers to your most pressing retirement questions and help you navigate these uncertain financial times. Don't just retire, retire smart. This Saturday morning, 11 a.m.
Smart Wealth LLC is a federally registered investment advisor under the Investment Advisors Act of 1940 and an affiliate of Retire Smart. Registration as an investment advisor does not imply a certain level of skill or training. Information about Smart Wealth LLC can be found by visiting advisorinfo.sec.gov and searching by the advisor's name.
Attention, are you or a loved one suffering complications after taking Ozempic or Wegovy? These medications may be linked to serious gastrointestinal illnesses. If you've been hospitalized and diagnosed with gastroparesis, chronic vomiting, deep vein thrombosis, or experienced intestinal blockage requirements.
And now, back to Hail Varsity Radio.
One final time, the Friday forecast continues on. Chris Schmidt, Elijah Herbel, Will Wilson, Clausborne is with us. We're here at Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino as we're at Ameristar Sports Book and Bar just outside. We're right between the uprights like a field goal is supposed to go. So let's get into the forecast, fellas. And we are on to the Nebraska pick. And we are getting that monster parlay figured out here as we'll put some heat down on a 4-teamer. You know, I just don't think Nebraska's offense will find themselves enough tomorrow. I think the defense will play well and hang tight, but it won't be enough. And Nebraska has still too little a margin for error. Give me Indiana 34, Nebraska 21, as it'll be one-score ball game, and Indiana will punch that cover in late. Elijah.
Indiana's offense scares me. They're high-powered. They're going to pick up yards. But a quarterback of Dylan Raiola's level doesn't have back-to-back bad games very often, especially coming off of a bye. I'm buying the stock on Dylan Raiola having his best game as a Husker against Indiana, and I am taking Nebraska to win this football game. 35-27, a high-scoring affair, maybe a defensive touchdown, but a great day from Dylan Raiola.
What do you say, Will?
I'm going to stick to my prediction I gave this morning. I agree, Schmitty. I don't think the offense can stick with Indiana's if they're as good as everybody thinks. So I'm going to go 31-28 Indiana.
All right, field goal, there it is. A reminder to get buckled up. Use your seatbelt. It saves lives, prevents injuries. Only if properly worn. Make it click. A message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Claus, what say you? What happens in Bloomington?
Well, I know Indiana fans are really feeling themselves. They've got a good team, and they seem to be on the right track. but I would caution them about getting too overconfident. You see, there's a story about another program that wore red and white and had a rough and tumble Italian at the top, and the things that would happen to them when they played a team that was pretty good, but they should probably still beat. Now, I'm not saying history is going to repeat itself, but if Coach Signetti has a brother that has designs on being an assistant high school coach, he might want to bring his boxing gloves to the game. My point is this: Nebraska wins the game 31-24 with a late comeback.
Claus, you had to go Carl.
Well, somebody had to someone had to stick up for him after that very angry father decided to give him what for, and Bo wasn't around to do it. So here we are.
Claus, we love you. Appreciate you jumping in. Have yourself a weekend, okay?
Okay.
There he goes. He's imaginary. He wears red. It is Clausborne.
We'll like that
Dude,
one.
that was so good.
Can I say, Carl Pliny, the last person I'd want to go get into a fight with.
Dude, he doesn't lose fights, I would bet. And secondly, you got to be a bad dude to bust some ribs up.
Yeah. Dudes from Youngstown, just don't fight them.
Yeah.
Don't fight them. Pretty simple.
Unless you're from Youngstown.
Will, parlay pick of the day.
Yeah, my game of the week is UCF plus 13.5 at Iowa State.
Mark it down.
All right. We'll get it rocking and rolling.
We'll get the ticket posted on Twitter as well as Schmidt and I finish our picks.
Back tomorrow. Weekend edition, 7:45-ish till who knows when, in front of kickoff. Hail Varsity YouTube. Big thanks to Ameristar Council Bluffs Casino. Back at you in the morning. Thanks.